So before we get started with today, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who viewed the video yesterday and offered to ass fuck me. I'm glad that that's what you got out of the entire experience. It's really beautiful that both men and women came together to offer to fuck me in the ass, literally, in order so that I could develop more of a tolerance to getting butt fucked. The internet is truly a special place. Okay, I'm gonna pop one of these in my mouth and then I'm gonna go over Robocop 2. The Robocoping. Hot fucking cock, that one had a lot of seeds. This is not gonna be good. All right, Robocop 2. Detroit's fucking bankrupt. This took place in the 90s, or this came out in the 90s, kind of crazy. Detroit's bankrupt. Omnicorp's still around. Robocop's whooping ass. There's a side story where Robocop's stalking his wife, still, which is weird because he's a robot. Cyborg. Sorry, I know that's racist. There's like a little white kid who looks like a child, who swears a bunch, who has Gary Coleman syndrome, I think. And he's like the first main bad guy. But, there's this drug called nuke, which I think I've seen this movie 6 or 7 times. I still don't know what nuke does. I just know that it's destroying the streets of Detroit. And that a guy mugs a homeless lady and then gets mugged by prostitutes for money so that they can go buy nuke. So, it's gotta be good shit. And Robocop's trying to find the supplier, you know? The supplier's a guy named Kane, who thinks he's God. And Kane eventually, that's hot, yeah. Kane tracks Robocop, shoots him in the chest with like an EMP harpoon, and they fuck Robocop up. But they leave him alive, like, still somewhat useful. But, there's like this evil bitch lady scientist, because in the early 90s, if you were over 30 in a movie, you either had to be a mom or a stick in the mud, like Robocop's partner, or an evil bitch. And this scientist is an evil bitch in Omnicorp, and she wants to use like convicted felon brains to create a new cyborg for some crazy reason. And when Robocop gets all fucked up, she gives him like a bunch of directives, because he used to have 3, and then she gave him like 300, and then Robocop fucking sucks ass. Like, there were a bunch of kids, a little league team, robbing an electronics store, hitting an old man with a baseball bat, and they're having like a shootout with the little league coach. Robocop's like walking the wrong way, going, "Good morning," and shit. And then afterwards, Lewis domes him, and then Robocop walks up to him all slow and is just like, "You have the right to remain silent." But he's already dead, because Robocop's all different kinds of fucked up. And then a little bit later, he shoots at a guy who's smoking, because smoking's dangerous. Then they jam the thingy in his head to see how many directives they got, and he's got like fucking 300. And they're like, "How do we fix it?" And Robocop's all like, "I know how." Pulls the shit out, walks over to an electrical grid, starts electrocuting himself. No directives. Now this is just rogue, badass Robocop, so you think, but he's still the same one. He gives like this little speech where he's like, "Ari cops!" That's actually the only thing he says. And they're like, "What's going on, Murph?" And he's like, "Kane." Because he really wants to kill this dude Kane for fucking him up. And by the way, the movie's 2 hours long, and it should probably be about 45 minutes. You put that out there, that a lot of additional scenes not really needed to get the point home. And also, old man from the first movie, kind of a bad guy. So's Black Scientist, which is a little bit of a letdown, because I really like Black Scientist. So then, Robocop arrests Kane, fucks him up. Kane's almost dead. That evil bitch lady scientist gets the authorization to use Kane's brain. And then there's like a scene where it shows like his brain and like a spinal fluid and his eyeballs in a case. And they use the new cyborg with Kane in it, and it's like bigger and stronger than Robocop. And that cyborg is also still addicted to nuke, just like Kane, the drug. And evil bitch scientist lady's like, "I'll give you more of this shit if you go kill the mayor." because the mayor was trying to find another buyer for the city of Detroit because they're bankrupt and being sold to a private company. So like if Tesla were to bail out Detroit back when they filed for bankruptcy in 2013, this movie came out 23 years before that happened. So Kane's a robot, and he's all strong and shit, and then he goes fucking crazy. There's a little deal signing at the end with Omnicorp buying Detroit, but Kane Robot shows up and just starts shooting everybody, and he shoots a bunch of cops, and then him and Robocop get into a tussle that lasts way too long, and at the end of the tussle, like after they fight forever, including falling like, I don't know, 100 stories, and then blowing each other up, Robocop finds some nuke. Lewis like lures Kane with the nuke, and then Robocop jumps on his back and then blows his shit out, takes his spine right out, and his spine's got his brain in it. And then he says goodbye, and then throws that shit on the ground. Kane's dead. And then this one doesn't really have that cool of an ending, because at the end, Robocop's just like, because they find out the old man's getting away with the shit, and Robocop's like, don't worry, Lois, we're only human, which is terrible. Robocop's not a fucking human. So all in all, I give the movie 5 stars.